And his opponent in the bottom left. He is from Ukraine, representing Starcom Gaming. He is the papa of the StarCraft II scene. The Red Terran player, it's Cass.
Oh, Cass is the only player that gets air horns?
I bloody love Cass, and I'm not even slightly...
Highest caster.
I don't care. Cass is a legend.
This is some garbage. What do you... I can't believe this. Come on.
I know. If Goblin was here, he'd have had like 50. So, be thankful. Now that I know how to put samples onto my soundboard, it's only downhill from here.
Oh, jeez. I'm nervous now about everything I say on stream with you, Grant, because I'm sure
I've got loads of ideas as well.
Clip it. And I'm just mostly nervous. If I start playing Crusader Kings 3 for the next couple weeks, you're going to get a lot of clips of me just being like, now, what's the best way to murder my granddaughter, who's also my... As
long as Lambo pulls his drone successfully, and that is what we're going to see here. Now, this battlecruiser is a little bit too far from home. It's actually taking a path that I think is maybe not great here. It's taking a lot of damage, but it is killing a couple of queens. Roaches are going to be dealing quite well with these Hellions as Lings come in as well to try and get the wraparound. Cass is trading. Wow. Oh my god, that battlecruiser has 4 hit points, Creighton.
Wow. Yeah, Cass is still trading pretty well, though. Those Roaches actually ate a lot of damage from these Hellions. More Hellions than you normally see with just a straight battlecruiser push. It looks like these poor drones not going to get out in time. Like we said, even if you're prepared for this can still be very scary. The drones lining up a little bit here. 8, 10, maybe 13 before they get pushed away. Grant, is 13 drone kills enough if you save your battlecruiser but lose all your Hellions?
With a second battlecruiser coming in soon, I'm very intrigued to see how much this will do. I don't think this is just a second battlecruiser. There may even be another one made. He is getting ship weapons. This is mech behind this. In case anyone hadn't realized, yeah, more battlecruisers coming in. Cass is really going to pick up the aggression here with this mech style. He's going to be sending battlecruiser. The second one should go across the map relatively soon. He might wait to send both at the same time once battlecruiser A has been repaired. There are 3 Mutalisks on the way. Okay, 9 Mutalisks. And Muta's actually not bad against battlecruisers. As long as they split up and they dash in and out, they're very, very quick and can get out of the range of the fire quick enough. It can be difficult. It looks like Casso does want to stabilize on 3 bases for now. He's done a great job. Look at his worker count. Cass is playing very, very nice StarCraft II right now.
Hey, when you pick off 20 workers for your opponent, Lambo would like to be on 82 drones right now, but he's going to have to catch up little by little over time. Yeah. 4th base now down for Lambo, but that's going to be a little bit delayed due to the
free reign. Look how many overlords are here. Oh my god, it's so juicy. Please, please kill all these overlords just for me. They die so slow. Wow, battlecruisers suck. No, they don't. They're very, very good. This base is going to be targeted down. It may go down. There are queens coming in with transfuses. We see the bios coming in doing a lot of damage. It does look like the hatch will fall, and we should see the teleport away if it is off cooldown, and it is. See it, nerds. Battlecruisers retreat after a successful push, and more Hellions this time with Blue Flame coming in to the same base. So many drones. Let's look at the workers killed. 30 to 39 in this game.
Wow.
Add those numbers up, and yes, a very nice number of workers that have gone down so far.
That's very nice indeed, Grant. Nice, nice, nice. And Cass is not showing any signs of slowing down. One of the real dangers of Cass's build right now, when you go from battlecruiser into this heavy mech style with a lot of Thors and a lot of tanks, is that it takes a long time to get off the ground, right? 1 battlecruiser, not scary. 2 battlecruisers, not that scary. 3 battlecruisers, 3 Thors, tons of tanks, Hellbats on the ground. It gets really difficult to deal with all these moving parts of a mech army. And Cass is now past the very difficult part. It's a lot like when Protoss players. It's a lot like when Protoss players try to tech into carriers, right?
Look
where there are
a couple. Hellbats are.
Oh, they're so zippy. Oh, they're so zippy. I love it. But Cass is now past the really scary part here, and as long as he dodges corrosive biles fairly well and sets up those tanks, it's going to be so difficult for Lambo to defend against this. Because look at his infestor count. Nothing. Look at his Viper count. Nothing. He's got very few tier 2 and tier 3 units to deal with this. He's trying to fight up against battlecruiser mech with just Ravager, Roach, and a ton of Corruptors. The Corruptors are great, but the Thors are here.
Yeah, the Thors are going to be able to dish out so much damage to everything on the field. There's no Zerglings. There's no Hydras. There's no those very quick units that can really punish the Terran army. And right now, Cass is storming across the map. There's only Roaches in the production tab, and there are still tanks alive. There are still, of course, the BC standing strong in the back, just waiting for their opportunity to shine. And it looks like now they're going to move in and go for the snipe on this base. Corruptors coming in. We should see the fight coming in right now, Creighton.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a decent trade for Lambo, actually. These battlecruisers are going to have a difficult time teleporting away in time. The Corruptors just enough, and the Thors unable to fire their guns on those Corruptors until the very end of the fight. So unfortunately, even though Cass had a very decent composition there, he wasn't really able to get the positioning he needed to make the most of it. And we're going to see now, we've got one Ling getting onto this bottom base here, and Cass is going to keep attacking here. He's way overextending himself. What are you doing fighting with only 2 Thors and Siege Tanks? Those Thors could be taken down quite easily by a little bit of a Ling surround or even some Roach's Ravagers, Grant. I don't like what Cass has done here at the end of this fight.
Yeah, it does feel like Cass is overextended. I agree with you. We can see these 2 very low Thors. Lambo actually wasn't able to capitalize, though. Just a mistake there from Lambo, I have to say. We see the Thors, they trade very well against Roaches here. And this base is starting to get low. We criticize Cass for keeping the Thors forward, but goddamn if it didn't pay off here. And now the Thors can retreat, and this is a win for Cass. The drone count for Lambo is still very good. He still has, what, 4 bases, which is nice, but Cass is on 5. He's a mech player with 5 bases. He's still building 3 tanks and battle cruisers. En masse, finally, we see those infestors come in.
Battle cruisers see the Corruptors. Corruptors don't see the battle cruisers. That's going to draw Cass back into his main base here. I think Lambo can take this fight, though. If he focus fires fairly well. Teleport is on cooldown. Oh, no, it's not. Sorry. Teleport is not on cooldown here for these battle cruisers. Yamato Cannon's going to do a lot of damage here, and that's a big win for Cass.
Yeah, the difference here is the upgrades. There's +2 ship weapons here for the for these battle cruisers, meaning that they are able to trade quite well. Hive is on the way for Lambo, though. I really feel like Lambo needs to get some Vipers into the mix here. I think that would be very, very good for him. He's still remaking drones. I'm not so sure about that. He's sitting at 81, going up to 90, which, I mean, I'm not a top Zerg player, of course. Maybe 90 is a magic number, but not when you have 4 and gas, Lambo. Lambo adding on more and more Corruptors, which, of course, is nice. Oh, my God, the fungal means you can't teleport away.
And he's going to eat all those corrosive vials as well. Beautifully done here. That's a nice snipe from Lambo.
Yeah,
Man, the game... TVZ turns on a dime sometimes. Very, very close here. I love it, Grant, when I see GG's going down in chat from 2 minutes ago. Yeah. When people are like, this game's over, and I can go, spoiler alert, this game is not over, guys. These players much too good for a simple, small mistake to end the game sometimes. More infestors popping up for Lambo. You know what upgrade he's missing for those infestors, though, Grant?
Neural Parasite, right?
Neural Parasite, which is something you really want to see against a lot of Thors. The Thor count's still only at about 3, but I imagine as more Thors roll out, Neural Parasite going to be more and more effective, and I wonder if Lambo is going to blunder into a battle at about 20 minutes in this game and think, oh, I'll just Neural Parasite the Thors, hit the hotkey for it, and then realize, oh, may have forgotten something.
Cass is actually transitioning. He's sticking with mech, of course, but he's going into mass Cyclone. And if you can get a good amount of them against Roaches and against Corruptors, they are the best units in the Terran's disposal right now. A nice fight here from Lambo. He is going to be able to pick up a couple of these battle cruisers, but he's at risk of losing another base that he cannot really afford to lose. Now, Cass has a lot of his army at home, sitting pretty centrally, so maybe... Oh my God, there's so many Cyclones, though. Hey, Crater, look what's being researched.
Finally, I think, again, Lambo realizing that's going to be essential later in the game. Again, even against Cyclones, if there are a few Thors in the field, Thors can tear through other mech units. Yeah, and this is really cool. Oh God, the Corruptors.
Oh my God, that's filthy.
This is insane.
Oh, that's so dirty.
Huge scan to make sure he gets plenty of vision here, and the Corruptor count now dropping to 2 for Lambo. That was a big win for Cass. Lambo I believe as you Brits say, in a spot of bother now.
Oh yes, yeah, definitely a sticky wicket. Now, this is super cool here from Cass. He is playing absolutely beautiful StarCraft right now, but he has to close, and that's something you taught me, Creighton. ABC. Right. Always be closing. And Cass right now, he is struggling to close out the game a little bit. And Lambo still has, 83 workers. He has okay upgrades. He's getting continuing good upgrades. The positive thing is that all of the Corruptors died, and Lambo doesn't have a bank. So Cass is remaking battle cruisers, knowing that he has won the fight in the air. And if he forces his opponent to remake in the air, then he just makes Cyclones, It's a game of tug of war where Cass has the first pull. He is able to set the momentum and force the Zerg player to react, whereas he's already playing, a step ahead right now. Just from catching all of those GGs.
Yeah, wow. Lambo realizes it here when he saw the just now finally crossing the age 16
when Cass
barrier.
Started, max packs was 2.
Yeah, exactly. When MacPax was 2 years old, Cass was already winning money in Warcraft 3 tournaments and stuff. And such a broad base of players, it makes for great storylines throughout the series. So even if you're not a player who cares about, like, what, I feel like a lot of casters get really excited about, Lambo pulled his second drone out of gas at 1.5 minutes. That means he's going to transition into this 6 minutes from now. I think some players don't get into that as much, or some viewers don't get into that as much. But all of us can really appreciate the cool storylines we get when players like Cass and players like Lambo have these broad stories, and it's sort of the old guard fighting up against some of the young guys, and it's a story everyone can understand. And it's just great to see such a broad depth of players from the EU region especially. We're seeing it more in North America as well, though, with a lot of younger players coming up the ranks and sort of challenging some of these old guard guys.
Yeah, I mean, StarCraft is a game I know everyone's excited for, the new one. But StarCraft still has so much life left, and it's incredible to see these storylines. And Cass is being a cheeky boy, because that is a very quick third CC, Creighton.
He really is. Looking a smart move from Cass, though. He hasn't even spotted the third base yet from Lambo. Checks the normal third base location. We'll see the third base eventually. Lambo expanding at a very reasonable time for a Zerg player, but Terran players generally don't expand to a third base as quickly as Zerg players. This is a very, very economically focused build out of Cass. What are the chances he's going mech off the back of this again, Grant?
I don't see why he wouldn't. I mean, of course, it's kind of crazy to think the last game started with Cass hiding his BC opener and it being scouted. Right. Which is an incredibly impressive result, despite, what happened. Lambo was prepared for what was coming, and Cass just outmaneuvered him. He found some great fights. He tech switched at the correct time. I'm not certain he's going mech this game. Everything right now kind of screams bio to me. There's no gases on the natural. Liberator coming out to start things off. It's looking like bio. Maybe on Death Aura, that is where Cass feels more capable. On this map, maybe Jagannatha for him was the mech map.
Sure.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is bio. I thought so. Bio play here from Cass, and I like it. Mixing it up here, keeping his opponent guessing. I do think Lambo will be more comfortable against this. Bio, obviously, probably. Lambo's the kind of person who I expect is practicing with, like, Clem. The top Terrans that are playing bio often. Thermal players like that, I know those sort of people practice together, and if he can play Lingbane Muta, I think Lambo will be very, very confident. I don't know if he's playing the Hydra style right now, but I mean, we're going to find out pretty soon.
Yeah, and very, very wisely put there, Grant. A couple options available to our Zerg players when they scout out, as Lambo has, that this is going to be a bio play. Obviously, the Overlord flying over this tech lab, seeing it spinning, knows that he's going to be up against a little Hellion push into bio play behind this. And that does give him basically two major tech paths to choose from: Lingbane Muta or Lingbane Hydra, into possibly Lurker play after that. Normally, of course, 6 months ago, if I would have said, he might be going Hydra Lurker, you would have laughed at me. You would have been like, what? Nobody goes Lurker. Ridiculous. But obviously that unit getting some good press lately with players like Raynor, extolling the value and relative value of how strong Lurker play is right now. As the Lair Tech finishes up, we're going to see what Lambo's going for. But with those two Evo chambers down,
he's on top of every other aspect of the game. Infestation Pit already down. So we will see those lurkers coming in and not too much longer. And how many racks are we looking at? Well, I'll tell you what number of racks we're looking at. We're looking at 8.
It's 8.
Do you see a 4th CC?
You know what, Grant? I do, actually. It just went down. Sorry to underlay your point. But no, well, you're not wrong, though, because this is when you get to this point in the game, of course, we talk a lot about build orders being really, really rigid in the early game. But once you hit 8, 9, 10 minutes, you have a little bit more freedom where if you see your opponent rapidly expanding, as we've seen Lambo doing 5th base at 9 minutes, it's not uncommon to go for a 4th base here after your 8 racks are finished up. So this still counts as a 3 base. 8 racks build, still going to be very big pressure on 2-2. I expect we'll see a move out from Cass. The only thing that's been slowing him down right now, as you said, is that Lambo is playing a lot more like the Lambo that we know and love and expect, where he is defending so well. Hydralisk's not quite in a good enough position to grab those. Hydralisk speed finishing with the creep, not pushed far enough forward where those Hydras could take out those medevacs. But yeah, we'll see Cass gearing up for a big push quite soon.
Yeah, here we go. It is about 10 minutes that you want to be hitting with this. 2-2 is, as you can see, finishing up. His armor a little bit slower, just you know, it is quite common that Terrans forget to start that, but this is literally 20 million Marines right now. And in the speed zone, they're able to micro very well. If you micro them...
If you micro them, indeed, that was a bloodbath. Red goop everywhere, and I gotta say, that seemed like a much better play. Might be a much better play for Lambo, though. Even though he lost all of his banelings, he's got 24 more on the way. Cass is going to have a very, very short window to get in here, but I just don't think it's going to be quite enough. Tanks not even sieged up in the front here, and if those tanks get picked off by the Hydras, there's not much that Cass can do about it. His damage being all in Marines right now is not as sustainable with these banelings just at the edge of creep.
Yes. I mean, banelings are really good. Especially if you just stand still. And unfortunately, sure, Cass had the micro potential in the
Grant, I'm going to interrupt you. Sorry, your microphone sounds like one of the robots from Portal right now. I'm not sure if you want to mute, unmute, and try something else again. Yeah, you're still a little bit weird here. Cutting in, back out. Maybe unplug and replug something back in and try again. As Cass sets up for a big attack here, we see the Hive Tech finishing up, which means Vipers and Adrenal Glands on the way, as well as that +1 missile attack for the Hydras. Nice positioning here from Cass, though, right at the edge of creep to try and drive Lambo back. And Lambo actually does have a difficult defense here now that Cass has reestablished himself with some more tanks to be able to zone those units out. Grant, you back yet?
Am I?
Ooh, Grant, you still sound a little bit robotic here. I'm not sure what's going on, buddy.
Huh.
I know we've had this problem once or twice before.
I wonder if it's your end. We'll find out.
We'll find out in 2 minutes. You're sounding a little bit better now. Okay, Link's coming into the natural.
Yeah.
There you go. Now you're back.
Cool. Yeah, Link's swarming into the natural right now, and they're actually on top of a lot of the protection. And so many SCVs are going to be, oh my god, the whole position. These SCVs will absolutely melt. Look at that number rise, 7. Okay, could have been worse. They are going to be cleaned up eventually. A nice defense in the end by Cass, who still has an immense army. But Ultralisk Cavern is on the way. Cass is on a timer. There are tanks out, sure. There are Liberators being added. Liberators are bloody good against Ultralisks, but it's 17 Marines being produced at a time, Creighton.
Yeah, this is such an interesting position from both players here, and we often see this Ling Bane style up against mass Marine tank style devolve into this sort of fight where the Terran player stands at the edge of creep for as long as they possibly can, and the Zerg player tries to distract for as long as they possibly can with Ling and Bane run-bys trying to destroy the economy. It looks like Cass's economy is going to just be destroyed here. Cass realizing that, hey man, 2-2 Marines are really scary good, and we're going to get straight into this third base, and he's going to push until the end of the game. Yeah,
Cass just has to go, and he knows it. I mean, the counterattacks are going to devastate him right now. His economy is in shambles. You can see 46 to 86 workers here. But Cass's army is huge. He's got 133 army supply right now, Creighton. And sure, some of it is in production, but the majority of it is just across the map. Liberators are here. He's dropping in the main, and I love to see it. There are no Ultralisks out. +3 armor is not done. Liberators and a few Marines will be able to stabilize at home for now. So Marine production can continue, but that's so many banelings. The good thing for Cass right now is he's splitting where the fight needs to be. A lot of it will be forced into the main, it looks like, though. Oh god, this is going to be very scary for Cass. He's going to have to split like he's never split before.
Literally like he's never split before, and as you said, if he doesn't win this fight, he loses the game. Let's see what he can do. Blinding Clouds on some tanks here. Cass not splitting beautifully right now, finding a nice position behind the minerals, though. The Marines focus firing down what they can. He's still on 82 army supply, though, and Cass has a very real chance of pushing across here. The Lings in his main natural and third have been cleaned up here, and now Lambo struggling just a little bit. Every baneling hit counts for immensely, though, right now.
Yeah, there are still some Marines left. The army supply is still in favor here of Cass, 90 to 54, but there are 3 Ultralisks on the way, and those Space Cows are able to do a whole lot of damage against such a heavy Marine force. I mean, we're talking about Cass's army supply right now is 67 Marines, 2 tanks, 2 Liberators. There are no Marauders, and 2 tanks are okay, but they're not great. Catching a couple of banelings here is nice for Cass. He needs more, though. He needs to find a decisive fight, because these Ultralisks are very scary. Now, about 45 seconds until Chitinous Placing finishes. Nice run by here, or a nice Liberator siege up here. Is going to be able to kill a few workers, get a couple of eggs as well, but it's not game ending yet. Cass is still up against it. He has 18 workers, Creighton.
You said earlier there was a timer down for Cass when Lambo went to Ultralisk Tech, and you were right about that, and now there's a second timer as far as this attack goes. Cass simply can't afford to let this game go any longer. He's got no economy. He's stuck on what he's got, and now the army supply for Lambo gonna get on top of here, and Cass knows that he's been bled dry there. Lambo's run by paying off. Wondering why I'm so anxious about it. Apparently, if you call it the Ukraine, Ukrainians are, that's what it was called when it used to be a satellite state of the USSR. Yes. And it's not the proper name for it anymore. And you're supposed to say just from Ukraine. And it's such a hard habit for me to break, and I feel like I need to get better and better at it. But I don't intend any offense to players when I do it. It's just a stupid mistake that I make sometimes. It's the same with Kyiv and Kiev, where I grew up saying Kiev for my entire life, and then you learn over time. So if I do make that mistake several times in the tournament, Ukrainian viewers, please don't get too mad at me. I'm a dumb American with a dumb American education.
Yeah, I mean, even I was watching football, proper football, not hand egg, recently, and they said it, and I was like, that's wrong. So it isn't just Ukraine, and don't worry. Now, Reaper expand here from Cass. Nothing exceptionally odd here. Does force the drone to go into the Spore Crawler, which is nice. It is a bit of a win. 18 minerals, right? Yeah. But everything counts in a game such as this. CC going down here on the natural, and we will see if Cass is going to go for a very quick third before he goes for the starport in this game, or if he's just going to go for a standard 1-1-1 and play it out normally.
Yeah, Cass saving up quite a bit of scratch there, but not enough for another CC, and there it is. The starport gets built way back in the back of his base. Now, this is interestingly about the same, well, not anymore. I was going to say when he landed that barracks next to the starport, that's actually the same composition in his base, the same placement of buildings that he had in game number 1, which was where he went for those battle cruisers early on. But since he's moved this barrack up to the top of the base and there's no add-on coming to it, I'm not foreseeing any build in which he goes for battle cruisers this game. He does have plenty of gas in the bank.
That I still don't think Lambo needs to panic and all in and do anything crazy. You can see he's going to double expand and get his 4th and his 5th, which I love. I talk about this often. Zerg 4th bases are always the point of contention for the first major push from a Terran. So because the Zerg typically has a lot of money, just take 2. And that's exactly what he's going to do. No Baneling speed yet. It is on its way, but quite far off. And if this push were to go, there is certainly potential here. Tank is going to go and siege up just underneath these rocks. And with a scan, we'll be able to clear a lot of creep here. And maybe look for some damage onto this first of the double expansion bases.
Yeah, very nice tank positioning, of course, from Cass behind those destructible rocks that Lambo was working on, but didn't quite kill. With no Baneling speed, it'd be difficult to engage with these Marines, even on creep. We'll see if this tank gets some good shots. Baneling's from the back, though, and Lambo going to get a beautiful flank there. Yeah. Oh, not safe for Terran. If you're at work right now and you play Terran, you should definitely not have this stream on your second monitor. Your boss is going to walk by and get you fired. What I wanted to point out was really interesting, Grant, is last game, Lambo took a long time after his lair finished to transition into any tier 2 lair tech, right? We were a little surprised that he stayed on Ling Bane for so long, didn't get that Hydra Den down until a little bit later than we may have expected. And we speculated in game number 2 that it was because he saw the very early 3rd base from Cass and he knew that Cass was going to be stayed back. But again here in game 3, Lambo did not get a bead on when that 3rd base was down, wasn't quite sure if it was early or late, and still has not built any significant tier 2 tech yet. He's got the infestation pit down, but
he's probably going to lose this base. But look at the map, he has so many bases at this point. His creep is great. He is going to be able to re-expand over into the top left position. He's going to get a complete surround here on the planetary, and that will fall, and he can trade a base. He's just killed 17 SCVs. Excuse me, Lambo at this point is in a phenomenal position. Adrenal glands already 2/3 of the way done. But Lambo feeling confident.
Oh, Cass, what are you doing? The army control right now from our poor Ukrainian player, just not as good as you might expect from another European player in Dreamhack. It seems like he's making little mistakes all over the place, positioning mistakes, army mistakes, target firing mistakes, mistakes you simply cannot afford to make against I almost said an American player, an incredibly talented player here in Dreamhack EU. More Ling Bane run-bys, and again, we're seeing a carbon copy of game number 2, where Cass's economy has been ravaged, destroyed, explodinated, and now he's got to come back on the back of a giant army supply advantage. He's got to push, and timer number 2 has now started ticking down.
Yeah, I mean, plus 3 armor and chitinous plating on the way here. Lots of banelings coming in for Lambo once again. His drone count is moving up very close to 90 again. There's just so much here for Lambo. His army is so strong. Gonna remake a few queens as well. Now, Cass is still pushing with 126 army supply, and he does have a decent tank spread. Lambo as well, I mean, this is... I don't like to use the word, but at this point, this is all in for Cass. He's at 37 workers. This is exactly what happened in map 2, which Lambo was able to pick up. And now here comes the swarm.
Oh god, Cass supply blocked, of course, can't even reinforce here, and with the banelings tearing through everything in the front side, the tank's barely lasting, and Cass has just nothing left. Trying to stream some Marines across, and like it looks like, oh, you're like, oh, Cass held that pretty well. He lost all of it, almost all of his tanks here, down to what, 2 tanks, 5 tanks in the field. Most of his army supply in medevacs right now, honestly. He's got 10 medevacs for 25 Marines. Talk about universal healthcare. 3 big space elephants on the way. That Carapace upgrade coming down for him as well. Queens with transfuse can take down these medevacs. Grant, this is looking real rough for our boy Cass.
Unfortunately for Cass, this is going to be the end of the road. There is no coming back from this. Ultralisk's about to pop now as well, and they are fully upgraded Ultralisks. Oh, they're not. Did he cancel his armor upgrade? He did.
What? No, he's got chitinous plating. He canceled. He didn't start 3-3, I don't believe. So chitinous plating's finished up, but the armor never started. Which, you know, a little bit of a mistake from Lambo, but honestly, I think he's pumping out so many Lings and Banes. He's got to focus the gas on what's on the field right now. A bunch of mules pushed away from the third base for Cass, and just. Things going from bad to worse, Grant. Things going from bad to worse. And there it is. The GG goes down, and despite a